Hello, New Wave of British Heavy Metal.com here. Now today, whilst I'm awaiting the arrival of 4 CDs from what you might call under the radar bands from way back in the original New Wave of British Heavy Metal days, a little distraction until they arrive. And here's a band which does have a New Wave of British Heavy Metal connection anyway. And it's one that, well, if you're very old like me, you might remember them. If not, one to check out. Now, to set the scene a little bit, it's the latter half of the 1970s. New Wave of British Heavy Metal's gathering momentum. But running along in parallel, there was another new wave, wasn't there? You know, which was known as punk rock. Now, well, I didn't care for punk too much. That typical frantic 3-chord thrash. It didn't do anything for me, but that's just a personal taste, of course. But there was one exception back then for me, and that's this band called Penetration. They came from the good old Nawabum stronghold of the northeast of England, and I thought that they were much more rock than punk. And they had a more ambitious style, more refined style than most of the contemporaries, and they did have something of a USP with the irrepressible vocalist of Pauline Murray, and that new wave of British heavy metal connection being as after Penetration split towards the end of the decade, Fred Purser, Penetration's guitarist Fred Purser, of course, joined the Tigers of Pantang, replacing John Sykes. And Fred played on the Tigers' 1982 album, The Cage. So that's the brief history. Back to Penetration, they released 2 albums before splitting up. There was the debut of Moving Targets in 1978, and then Coming Up for Air the following year. Both of them sold very well, cracked top 50 album charts in the days when a band to crack that top 50 had to shift a very respectable number of units to get that far. Over the 4.5 decades since the late 1970s, I'd forgotten all about Penetration until a recent email arrived from Cherry Red updating with upcoming releases, and noticed that they were due to release both Penetration albums together in one pack, including many bonus tracks. So that necessitated an instant click on the order button, and it arrived through the letterbox a couple of days ago. Over the 2 discs, there's a whopping 39 tracks for your money. Moving Targets has 5 bonus tracks, and also which comprises of a few of the band's earlier singles, predating the album. And then there's the 10-track Race Against Time demo, which is tremendous. And then Coming Up for Air weighs in with 3 bonus tracks, 2 of which are live. Altogether, a glorious listen of a band who did offer that something a little bit different, and it all sounds so fresh, for 45 years later. Marvellous, marvellous stuff. Moving Targets bristles with spiky attitude, relentless energy, and quite some power pushing it along. Murray's relentless monster vocals, the guitars pushing out some nice tasty riffs. And there's a slightly quirky offbeat drumming. Stuff like Future Days, Life's a Gamble, Lovers of Outrage, Vision, and similar, all short, punchy, to the point. Well, the whole album is. And, they even manage to throw in something of a curve with Too Many Friends, which is a sort of, amped up heavy reggae style, and it's really edgy as well. Marvellous, marvellous song. So Moving Targets is a tremendous album, and here with those snarling early singles as bonus tracks, and that tremendous 10-track Rage Against Time demo gives you over 70 minutes of music. Marvellous, marvellous. And also they do a really rocked up cover of Patti Smith's Free Money, which I think's the best one on the album, not to be missed. Coming Up for Air came out the following year, a little more gentler in style, a little bit more restrained, if you like, though it's still a winner to my ears, as Penetration moved towards, at times, a traditional melodic rock territory with stuff like excuse me, coming to the open and what's going on. Across the 39 tracks here, you know, there's not a weak number anywhere. Top stuff indeed. And the 2 live tracks, which are bonus tracks coming up for air, show what a force of nature they must have been on stage. So if you're going all misty-eyed you know, remembering the old days like I am, or even if you're not, you know, Penetration more than well worthy of checking out. And you know, a band that really did have something that bit different. But all they had from back then were just these 2 albums to show for it. But what a cracking pair of albums they are. In a few days, hopefully before Christmas, because I'm recording this 8th of December 2024, those 4 Nawabum CDs should land. So we'll deal with them when they do. But in the meantime, don't miss out on Penetration, something that a little bit different and a little bit special from the late 70s. And say that there is that Nawabum connection with Fred Purser and the good old Tigers of Pantang. So that's that for today. Oh, little favour if you would, and that's if you'd please subscribe to the channel, because that'd be a big help. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.